Hi guys, we're going to review dividing decimals this week, and we're going to look at and understand how dividing decimals is the same as dividing without decimals. So division, let's talk about that. Division is having a total and knowing how many groups you need to break it into. Sometimes you don't always have enough when you're dividing to get another group, and we call that the remainder. Joseph bought 161 toy soldiers for his birthday party. He is inviting 6 of his friends. How many toy soldiers will Joseph and each of his friends get to play with if he shares them equally? So using this problem, let's ask ourselves, do I have a total? And how many groups do I need to make? Well, looking at the problem, I've highlighted in yellow, he bought 161. So I know I have a total of 161, and it's Joseph and 6 friends. So that makes 7 people who are going to be sharing these toy soldiers. So then I know that my number sentence is 161 divided by 7. And now I have to think, how many groups of 7 can I make from 161? So when I look at my problem, I think about the number of groups of 7 I can make. Well, I don't want to look at the whole number 161 because that makes it way too large of a number to try to wrap my brain around. So I'm going to break it down. I know I can't make any groups of 7 from just 1, so I'm going to look at the number 16, and I've underlined that in red so that you can see what I'm looking at. I know from 16 that 7 times 2 is 14, so I can make 2 groups of 7 from 16. And when I subtract, I have 2 left over. But I'm not done. I need to bring down my next number. So I bring down the 1. So now I'm looking at 21. How many groups of 7 can I make from 21? Well, I know 7 times 3 is 21. So my 3 goes on my total bar. I subtract, and now I have a remaining number of 0. So I know that Joseph and his friends can each have 23 toy soldiers to play with. So when you're dividing decimals, you follow the same process as you do as when you're dividing without decimals. The only difference is you have a decimal place. And when you're dividing, the decimal holds its place. And so let's take a look at what that means. So in this problem, Susie bought 8 bracelets and she paid $11.44 for them. How much did she pay for each bracelet? So let's think about what's my total. Well, $11.44. That's what she paid. What did she buy, or how many groups? She bought 8. So if you look at the $11.44 and see in the red where the arrow shows that you just move that decimal point right to your total bar. It holds its place. So now I can think, how many groups of 8 can I make from 11? Well, 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So I know I can only make 1. And notice where my 8 lines up. It lines up under the second one in 11, not under the first one, because it's not 8 from the tens place. It's 8 wholes from 11. So 8 minus 11 is 3. And notice when you're dividing with your decimal, you don't need to bring that through your problem. It's at your total bar. That's where it needs to stay. I just bring down my next number, and I continue dividing as I normally would. So now I'm thinking, okay, I have 34. How many groups of 8 can I make from 34? If you notice, I made like a T-chart to the side here. I have 1 group of 8 is 8, 2 groups of 8 is 16, 3 groups of 8 is 24, and so on. That's a good way to help you look at numbers quickly instead of having to rethink it every time. You list out your multiples and show the groups, and it'll get you through division quicker. So I see that 4 times 8 is 32. 32 is close to 34. It's not going over. I subtract. 34 minus 32 is 2. I bring down my next number, which is also 4. Now I have 24. 8 groups. 8 can go into 24 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. I subtract, and I have 0 left over. So I can see that Susie paid $1.43 for her bracelets.